All right, guys, warming up here, getting ready. And I guess this session is getting more and more notoriety as the attendance in the trade room has just spiked up quite a bit. We got Mike Rixey with us this morning. Hello, Mike. Just kind of leaked some news to our members this morning, Mike, about the new service we're going to be coming out with in the next few weeks. So, I mean, the range on crude oil hasn't really been so great this morning. Yeah, there's been... Actually, I take that back. I didn't, without even looking back further, it did go from 67 all the way down. All right, you can see the spike here happening. So that is quite the reaction. Let's mark the boundary of that. And let's get the boundary of the low end as well. So let's see if we can move in or out of this range here. We saw what happened last week. We just kind of traded right in the middle. Still worked out. Still ended up being a great session. But it's always nice when it can break out of this range and then, start trending. So we'll see. A lot can happen in the next minute and 15 seconds. But notice how the price is right back in the middle here again, much like last week, sandwiched between the two moving averages as well. So let's see. It's going to come up and test one of these, I think. The higher the low, maybe both. So less than a minute to go. We'll just keep an eye on this setup here. Has not yet canceled or triggered in, 66.11. A lot could happen though in the next 40 seconds. Okay, so that is a triggered in trade theoretically. We're still going to wait. We may have to get in sync with that trade depending on what happens again in the next 30, 25 seconds. And, not a lot going on with the price action. It's just kind of doesn't know what to do here. If we do get into that long trade, I'm not getting in unless it pushes through to 13. Okay, the original entry is at 11. It already went to 12. If I'm to get in sync with that in the next 5 seconds, looks like I'm going to. That's going to be 13, and yes, it is. So I got my order in at 13, and it may cancel or it may go the other way. But
Order
that's targeting
filled.
27. Oh, just triggered in. Can it get through the high? The stop, of course, at 93, and it did just get to money management. Let's move our stop up and lock in one tick. And not quite getting to target 2. We need another push higher. And getting to within one tick of target 2. And the stop now is
Order
at
filled.
14. Well, I got mine even.
Order filled.
I got mine at 14. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, so that missed full target by one tick. Technically, that should be power of quitting with a partial profit. I mean, that's the trade plan. If anyone wants to keep trading, there's another trade at 08, a short trade. But, if you miss a nice target 2 by one tick, as you know with our power of quitting rules, you take a partial profit and you call it a day. So I'll let you guys decide what you're going to do. I mean, I don't mind calling another trade or two. That is another long trade and a one tick adjustment to make it push through. So that would be a long at 27, and that's targeting 40. But the trade plan's officially over, guys. I mean, just staying disciplined with the trade plan. But I realize some of you may want to take another trade. So it did get long. Let's see if we can follow through. You got some, the EMA crossing over and a little bit of momentum. So let's see if we can at least push higher and get to money management on this one, which is right there at 36. Kind of a small setup here, looking at like it could try to pull back and retest that 50 moving average, but hopefully this resistance here on the reaction becomes support. Let's see if we can get a little higher, make some extra money on this. Having a hard time getting through. Okay, touching the balance line. Let's see if we can get higher here. Yep. Failure to get higher means it could go lower. So 17 becomes a stop and reverse, and you're almost like thinking, gee, I should have maybe quit with that partial winner. That's why we have a trade plan. Let's see what happens. Wants to go higher or lower. And an adjustment to 17, and it's out. So if anyone's short at 17, now you're trying to get, play catch up, and power of quitting rules definitely there for a reason. Anyone still trading? Anyone still trading with counterpunch? You haven't looked at Spotlight. Very good, Canty. That's what you should be doing. So you can see that the price has kind of fallen back into the original range boundaries of that first reaction to the news. So this first trade we got into, which we got in sync with, it's set up a minute before, and then we had to wait a couple minutes, and then right in this area, I guess, at 2 minutes, place the trade, get filled, and a near perfect target if it would have went one tick higher. But having to take fast action and trade for some profit, it should have just been a one and done session. Like I said, that's why we have rules. And this session's over unless anyone else is trading counterpunch. I mean, we could look at this one last trade, but as you can see that, now you got the up and down, and that can get you into trouble. Instead of a partial winner, you end up with a losing session. So we're just going to call it over. And that's that. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was really fast. As you can see, one trade. Again, a near perfect target and a partial profit. But a winning session nonetheless, and the trade plan just doing its job. Serving us well, taking what the market wants to give us. Yeah, I do see the trade on Spotlight. We could review Spotlight really quick. Spotlight is, struggling a little, trying to get positive. Oops, that's the wrong Spotlight. So Spotlight ended up with a long and then a partial loss on the stop and reverse. And this is still short from 17 because, 28. Yeah, it's long at 28 now. So Spotlight is long right here at 28 with the 2-tick adjustment. And if it could rally, could end up with a positive result. But this up and down and V-shape, no follow through is always concerning to me. So let's see if after testing these moving averages, we get some legs under this move. So money management, if you're in this, you want to wait for it to go the full 10 ticks up to 38, and it's only gone 9 ticks. So that's kind of dangerous. You're kind of in no man's land here, because if you move your stop too soon, you can get bumped out of the trade too early. You have to give that trade room to breathe. So you want it to go the full 10 ticks, but then it could come all the way down and lose. That's trading. That's what happens. Let's see. 28 is the adjusted entry. It's only gone 9 ticks from there. Yeah, so you didn't stop and reverse on the pink trade, Ron, is what you're saying. So that could work out for you. In fact, it just hit money management on that original trade. Yeah, and there's money management on the yellow trade, on this second trade. So if you're in the second trade, then you at least should move your stop to 29 on the adjusted entry, and now hitting target 2. So, good. And that's also, if we flip back to counterpunch really fast, counterpunch also on this green trade here, getting to target 2 and target 3. So if you did get short and then long, you should be pretty good right now. If you kept trading, it worked out. Oops. This being Spotlight 2.0 setup. Look at that one. That's kind of interesting. That's a trade off of the 200 moving average. That's not what we're really interested in at the moment, but not a bad sequence because we got some follow through after some wavy up, down, up, down. The problem with this up, down is if it continues, you could end up with, some problems there. But this actually worked nicely. So if you did keep trading, good for you. When you ask if anybody's still trading, they probably don't have time to type. You're right, Dirk. Did you fall into that category? I was thinking of that, actually, as the words came out of my mouth. All right, good move, Dave. All right, good. So a lot of you ended up really nice on this, so well done. John, haven't seen you in a while, so let's look at the 610 tick. I don't know if you guys remember John's plan where he uses a 610 tick chart with counterpunch. So just to recap, what John does is he waits 5 minutes, and then he only takes a trade if target 1 is 10 ticks or more. And so he's referring to this green trade here, which was similar to the ones that we were just looking at on the faster charts, and that's a one and done session for John. So well done. Way to go. A lot of ways to skin this cat. Crude oil report, always, well, as close to always as you could say, producing very reliable results yet again. And another reliable trade that you can do is with Spotlight and unleaded gas. This is another one that's definitely worth your time and effort. This one might even win the most. I haven't really compared terribly close. And let's see, so here's a Spotlight 2.0 version, which we could look at first. So basically you wait your 2 minutes. So this nice trade here, you actually can get in sync with, because it doesn't hit money management, it doesn't stop out, and after 2 minutes you're still right at the entry here. So you can grab the yellow trade here and look at that perfect target too, and that's good for 43 ticks at $4.20 a tick. And then a Spotlight 2.0 setup, just so that you kind of see how it works, with the proximity of the dots right on that blue line, the 20 SMA, which is a really nice pullback zone. The price doesn't quite get there, but the exhaustion dots do, and that's all we're interested in. And look at how that trade worked out with another perfect target. And this is your classic action, reaction, subsequent action, which tends to mirror the first action. The immediate past predicts the immediate future. So you got your immediate past, and these are all concepts that we want to have in line and in tune with our Spotlight setups. And when it happens, it's poetry in motion, in my opinion. Because you've got your action move and then your reaction, typically 1 to 2/3, give or take, maybe some Fibonacci retracement numbers in there, which I don't really care about. For me, you could just see it, and you could see how it finds support at your ascending 20 SMA. You got the 50 SMA, EMA also ascending, moving up to meet the 200 and all that nice space. The price is most likely going to at least test the 200 moving average, and it goes beyond. And you can just see the action, reaction, and then that's your immediate past. And then the subsequent action is your immediate future right at the right edge of the chart, obviously before it happens when you're placing a trade. But you can see how, it's not perfect, but it's almost, pretty close. And a nice target too, adjusted with the Spotlight dynamics of adjusting the market conditions and all that. So, that's the perfect way to use the strategy when you see that occurring, right? I point this out every chance I can. Now, without the 2.0, let's just see what that chart would look like just with regular Spotlight. And it's, not a big difference, only that, well, it is a difference because you've got your reversal trade here, and after 2 minutes, it's already hit money management, so you can't get in sync with that. Instead, you take the next trade, which is the same as the blue trade we saw, because the proximity is not only on the blue line, it's also on the yellow line. So Spotlight 2.0 or 1.0 gets you the same trade. The second trade, though, right? 2.0 had a winner before this, but hopefully you guys see that, and let me know if you have any questions. But the unleaded gas doing great. And that one, by the way, good for 85 ticks. 85 ticks at $4.20 a tick.